All right, what's up guys? Rich McCoy again, and I wanted to drop a video today on how to actually get the appointments to stick. Going into 2023, we know how much our industry's changing. The last thing that we're really gonna wanna need is to set a ton of appointments on the doors or to even get a ton of appointments through our lead gen and then put them on the books just to have them no-show, reschedule, cancel because they don't feel the value, okay? In this video, I'm gonna cover 5 tips to actually help you to increase that sit level so that your prospects will actually show up to that appointment and you can turn those prospects into clients, those clients into dollars. Let's get into it. So again, guys, my name is Richard McCoy. I am the CEO and founder of Revis Energy, a solar sales organization, and Revis Marketing, a lead gen operation, a part of Revis that provides booked quality appointments to other organizations just like ours. So let's jump into the topic of today, okay? The reason that people aren't showing up to the appointments is because they don't feel like there's enough value to make them want to do it. They don't feel like there's enough value and urgency that says, A, this is important, I need to do it now, it has something that I want, and then B, urgency, like I better jump on the ball and better get this done, okay? So let's talk about what do we need to do, quick and easy, simple things that we can send our customers to help them show up and increase the likelihood that they'll show up to that appointment. So number one, continue to add value to the client by sending them content that's important or valuable to them prior to your meeting. The biggest issue that I see with other reps who are trained properly is that they send company written blogs and company videos. Here's a time-lapse video of our install. Here's an article from my company written by my company about how great we are, okay? Obviously, customers are gonna have that. They already have that wall up as it is from a buyer and seller relationship just inherently, okay? From the beginning of time, buyers and sellers just have this gap of mistrust in between us. So you sending them information that was written by you, from you, talking about how great you are is not necessarily value to them. It's the same as you being on their doorstep telling them that everything that you're there to offer them that day is free. So you wanna send them things like articles, blogs, webinars, podcasts, things that are written by not your company, non-company related material that speaks to other homeowners in their areas experience with solar. This could be YouTube videos. If you're in Southern California, find top three Southern California people who've made videos or written blogs or Facebook posts, etc., that have a great experience with solar and they detailed out their entire experience and why it was beneficial for them. And the really cool thing about finding content pieces like that to send to people is it's from a neutral source, right? They're gonna talk about the good and the bad and the ugly. It's one thing when we say something to our clients, they're always gonna have a level of skepticism in that. It's another thing when they say it, and then it's a totally other thing when a neutral party says it. So neutral content that you can send homeowners that's valuable to them, other people's experience with solar, other people's experience with the installation process, with the equity, with the financing, etc. What content can you drive to them, can you send to the client that doesn't say buy now, but that educates and excites them about the meeting? And number two, this is a case-by-case basis. If you find yourself on a virtual, this is super important for virtual, and if you're in home and it's a bit of a drive time and you really don't want to risk having that customer not show up, one of the biggest things that you can send is a bio text, okay? I'll include a screenshot of that right here of what that looks like for me, and it's essentially a photo of you, and this is especially important if you are going to that virtual consultation. A photo of you, it's got to be a neutral photo, a selfie photo, a family photo with your kids, with your dogs, etc. Whatever you have, something that shows value in things that you care about, so they feel like they know you. And mine could look like, hey, I'm Richard McCoy, I'm a father, I'm a sales leader, this is why I'm in solar, this is why I love solar, this is my mission with helping families go solar because of X, Y, and Z. Your bio paragraph and your bio text has to have a picture that displays what you care about, or a really nice picture, not a sales headshot. This isn't LinkedIn. Have a photo of you and then talk about why you're in solar, how long you're in solar, and then what your mission and why it's important to you to help other families go solar, right? So that way we're expediting the rapport process. It's one thing to feel like I got an appointment in 2 days with a stranger, and that stranger's gonna come in my house and sit here for maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then it's like, the closer we get to that, obviously I might dread it, right? But if I feel like I know who's coming, if I feel like, okay, here, this guy Rich is coming, he ran track in college, he's an athlete, like we have that in common. He's from the Midwest, I'm from the Midwest, we have that in common. He loves dogs, he has both an English and a French bulldog. I've got dogs, we have that in common. Ideally, the person will read that text and go, okay, I feel like I kind of know this person, and then there's aspects about this person that I like. I'm now more likely to not ghost them. We don't ghost, well, in theory, we shouldn't ghost our friends, right? So this person, now that I can see commonalities between myself and them, they're no longer a stranger. They're a human being. So I'm more likely to treat them like a human being. And even if I have to reschedule that appointment, it's far better than just no showing and ghosting them altogether. Number 3, and the third thing you want to do to increase the likelihood of that appointment is going to stick, is to use pullbacks during your pitch. Whether you are setting this on the door or setting this on the phone, one of the biggest problems with setting in solar, period, again, whether virtual or in person, is the guarantees, guys. We know that our offer is special, but it is such a red flag to a customer and have someone knock their door and say, hey, I'm gonna slash that utility bill in half. I'm gonna put equity on the roof. I'm gonna give you cash back. And by the way, this isn't gonna cost you anything. And you got a great roof. I know we can get this done. When do you wanna meet, right? Red flag, right? No one knocks on my door with free money and that could help my life and there's like kind of nothing in it for them. You wanna keep curiosity for the customer. Think about it this way. It's like a push and pull. You can push, and tell the customer we can do all these things, and then all of a sudden the customer has the power, right? Then there's no urgency. The customer has no reason to meet with you right away, so they're gonna take their time. Anytime you give a pitch that's full of value, you always want to end it with, but this might not work for you. This might not make sense for you or your family right now. This might not even be a good fit for your roof. I'm not sure until we can sit down, take a look, get a solar savings estimate done for you, and then also I'll take a look at the electrical components. I don't want to get you guys too excited. It does work like this, and it can be really great for some people, but the honest truth is it only works this well for about 1 in 4 homes. So what I'll do is I'll be pretty quick. We'll get into the meat and potatoes of this thing, but I don't want to get you too excited and then overpromise and underdeliver. That statement has to come after you've talked about the rebates, the zero down, the warranties, all that stuff. We set the offer up here, and then we need to pull back and go, but you might not be able to get all of that. The only thing I need to determine whether you can get that is for us to have the meeting. By the way, doesn't cost you anything, takes about an hour or less. Are you free tomorrow or the day after? Which day will work best? And then you always want to have 2 points of solidification in the booking process. Solidification, what does that mean? I've set the appointment, got the prospect talking, we've confirmed a problem, prospect agrees to meet. Now I need to solidify that they're actually gonna show up. Well, what are 2 ways that we can solidify that the customer's actually gonna show up to the meeting? So for number 1, I'm gonna give you one really good statement that's gonna not only solidify that the customer is gonna show up, also is gonna provide a little bit of a litmus test on whether they had planned to ghost you or where's their level of severity with the consultation as it stands. And that statement is gonna go like this. Okay, I promise that after tomorrow at 6 p.m., I promise not to be that guy that if solar doesn't make sense, that I sit there and I try to badger you and then our company just hammers you with the follow-up, okay? I promise not to be that guy. By the way, between now and 6, I know we covered kind of how solar could work for you here, but what else would you like to cover during our meeting? What else would be important for you and your family for me to cover that day? I wanna make the best use of our time. Why is that a really good statement overall? Well, the reason that that's a really good statement is because I've taken the customer's worst fear about having essentially a sales meeting. You guys know that the customer is fearful that even though they're interested in solar, they have to use their time. And if they're not ready to buy, which in their heads, they're like, I want this information, but I don't want to feel like I have to buy it on the same day. They know that trained salespeople, especially guys who have thick enough skin to knock doors all day, are going to sit there and try to objection handle them. All of our customers know the process. They've been sold a million things. They've had a lot of people knock their doors. So in the back of their mind, they are fearful that you're going to push them after they say no. So what I'm going to do to solidify the appointment is I'm basically going to do a pattern interrupt and say that out loud and then confirm that that's not going to be the experience that I'm going to deliver to the customer. So again, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Homeowner, I promise that after we meet tomorrow, I know I'm in sales and even I don't like when salespeople try to be so pushy, okay? So I promise that if you guys meet with me, if it doesn't make sense for you, no harm, no foul, I'm not going to hammer you over and over and over with follow-up if this doesn't make sense for you, okay? And by the way, because I want to make the best use of our time for our meeting, what else would you like me to bring to prepare for that? What other information is important to you and your family? So the reason that second part of that is so refreshing and reassuring to the customer, and also as a litmus test to you, is because it puts the customer in this place where you get to gauge whether they're serious or not. If you see the customer essentially kind of stuttering or no, we'll see when you get here, they don't really have anything that they want. They don't see it as a high value. They're not excited. They at least need to be able to say something to that question, right? They at least need to recap what you said, if nothing else. Obviously, we just kind of want to see where the panels are going to go and how much it's going to cost and your warranties and all that good stuff, probably the standard stuff like that. That's a great answer. There's nothing wrong with that answer. That's what you're looking for. Ideally, what will be even better than that if they go, well, you know, we had a proposal before and I'd like to see the difference between where the ROI is and how long it's actually going to take for me to recoup my investment. If they start talking very specific things, perfect. You know that this person is far more likely to actually show up to this appointment versus someone who's like, nah, yeah, we'll just see what you got tomorrow at 6. And it's like, well, we'll see if I actually show up or not because I have a feeling you're gonna ghost me, right? But yeah, use that, guys, and I promise you it's gonna help. Number 5, if you still have that person where it's just kind of in your stomach that you're like, man, I feel like this person's gonna ghost me, then you need to put that information on the table right in front of you both with a statement like this. Can I be honest with you for a second? Maybe it's just me, but I get the feeling that you're setting this appointment and you really don't want to meet with me, but it's because you're too nice to say no. Did I get that right? That statement is super powerful. You don't want to create an awkward situation or environment with the customer, especially if you're face-to-face on the door. It's important you say it the same way that I just said it, with a smile, with a joking manner, because it alleviates the customer feeling like they're being attacked or pressured, right? Or backed into a corner. I'm gonna say it again. Say, hey, can I be honest with you for a second? Maybe it's just me, but I get the feeling that you're setting this appointment and you really don't want the information, but it's just that you're too nice to say no to me. I get it all the time, but did I get that right? And then I'm gonna say that with a smile, kind of laugh a little bit, and what you'll see is it's gonna put the customer in the state of like, I've gotta tell the truth. This guy just pulled a pattern interrupt. I didn't expect him to say that. No other salespeople typically talk like that, like, I've gotta tell the truth. Then you'll either get an objection or you'll get a commitment. The objection is gonna be, yeah, well, to be honest, I just don't think our credit is there. I don't think our finances are there. I'm not even sure if we have the time. I've got to talk to my husband and wife. And then with any of those objections at that point, you can obviously know how to go in to handle those as responses. But if ideally you want that commitment. You want the customer to process like, no, you need to show up for this. You can see it on their face. They'll pause a little bit and they'll go, nah, yeah, you have my word. We'll be here. I don't want to dick you around. We see you guys walking around all the time. Like if it takes an hour less and it doesn't cost me any money, it's something that we've been thinking about, and yet we're gonna go ahead and do it for sure, man. You got our word. Best case scenario, right? So whether it's an objection or a condition, I want to handle it right there. I want the commitment right there, or give me the objection so that we can have the conversation while I'm face to face before I walk down the street, so that I could either A, not put you on my calendar, or B, put you on my calendar as a hotter lead, because I've got to address your objections well before the consultation. Best case scenario. You want to start the buying process at the door, so if you can pull objections out of the customer, then not only do they have a higher likelihood of setting up, they have a higher likelihood of buying the same day and then having a better experience, because they don't feel like, oh, I got all this new information in an hour and now I have to make this decision over 50 grand. It's like, I talked to this guy then, I know who this guy is, I've got his background, he helped me at the door, he came back to my house, he made it make sense. It's so easy, it's a no-brainer. Why doesn't everybody do this, right? That's the kind of experience we want to give people every single time we meet with them. Quick video today, man. I hope that if you are on the doors, that this helps you get those customers to show up longer. What I find is I talk to reps every single day that aren't properly trained. All right, so if you guys were never actually properly trained and you don't know how to solidify your appointments, or you're struggling to set your appointments, you gotta have a coach, you gotta have mentorship, or you're going to fail. If you're needing some coaching help, book a call with me today and let's talk about how we can sharpen your skill, improve the sit rate, improve that closing rate, and make more money in 2023. If you're looking to offset the amount of times that you are knocking, or if you want to get away from the doors altogether and you want to fill that pipeline with booked quality sits, Revis Marketing is here for you as well. Book a call with me today and I'd love to discuss how we can add $1 million in sales to your pipeline within 30 days. Until next time.